Hey all you modern hippies out there, I'm so excited to introduce today's guest. Not only is he a chiropractor with over 18 years of experience, his extensive knowledge and research on natural and holistic care has really helped many people's lives. Dr. Brandon Takahashi, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I'm dying to pick your brain. But for all those watching who may not be too familiar with chiropractic care and what it can do for our everyday health, can you please give us a brief description on the philosophy behind chiropractic?
Of course. Well, let's take a step back. Okay, so where does healing really come from? I'll give you an example. So, say you're eating an apple, okay, and then your body digests it, and then it takes that apple and it turns it in part of your fingernail, part of your, your heart, your lung, your kidneys, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's an amazing feat if you really think about it, that you can take food and it turns it into you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's an intelligence that does that for you. And that inner wisdom flows from your brain out to your body over these nerves, and it communicates that message. Now, stress just happens to block that inner wisdom. Just think of your brain as like the Apple computer.
Okay.
And you've got these wires that go off from it, which is called your nerves. Okay, and they go off to your printers, let's say. Okay, and so obviously, if the wires aren't working properly because they're either faded or irritated or there's compression to them,
Mm-hmm.
That message doesn't get to your body. And so if the wires aren't connected to their computer, their printers won't print. And so when you cut off that healing capacity of your body, it starts to wither. And when it starts to wither, it opens itself up to injury or disease.
Okay, so as I'm listening to you speak and talk about how the brain controls everything in the body, which makes complete sense, and how pressure on those nerves can cause stress and disease to the body, what are the different types of stress that we should learn to identify in ourselves, and the different symptoms that we should look out for as a preventative factor?
Usually it's many, but there are 4 major areas of stress. There's mechanical, like poor posture or having a bad accident or a fall. There is emotional stress, like dealing with a divorce or a death in the family. Chemical stress, like not getting the proper nutrients in your diet, too much caffeine or sugar, too much alcohol. Lastly, thermal stress is a big one, where if it gets too hot or it gets too cold or changes between them, going from hot to cold, cold to hot, are some stresses that actually cause that interference to that inner wisdom.
It's so interesting that you say that. I recently read an article in the Wall Street Journal stating that we are now the medication generation. It's a little scary, actually. I believe it was 1 in 10 adults in America are on antidepressants. 1 in 25 adolescents. There are kids as early as 8 years old being prescribed Zoloft for insomnia and inability to focus at school. It's really sad, actually, when you think about it. What are the things that we can do in our everyday lives to keep our bodies from reaching that level to where you need to be dependent on a chemical in order to feel good?
Well, I mean, first of all, I always say chiropractic care will help with that because it releases that. It takes the pressure off those nerves and allows that communication to occur. So it helps your body work at 100%. Well, next is you are what you eat, right? So if you're putting, poor gasoline in the engine, it's going to run poorly. You put that 91 in your engine, it's going to run clean. Mm-hmm. So you want to put good fuel in your body. Second, you want to utilize that fuel. You want to exercise. It's move it or lose it, right? Mm-hmm. And that'll help increase your energy levels. Lastly, you want to actually have a positive mental attitude, because I don't know about you, if you've ever been around somebody that's negative all the time, it kind of brings you down. So being positive is also important, I believe.
Okay, got it. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate all your knowledge and sharing with us. A lot of young people out there that we lack that education on learning how to take care of our bodies. So for more information on chiropractic care, please visit his website, www.takahashichiropractic.com.